got a notification from YouTube. What's going on? I still don't believe in much.
Oh, pause now. I'm thinking like I'm not doing it.
This is the one way that this is the same one way down the thing like
back of that.
Yeah. That track I don't know about
It's not here, but it was live, isn't it? So next time,
I think you'll see some of those.
well, it says Darren Fender tagged in here, and it was I'm sure he's African, he was talking French. I was like, what is that? Every time he keep getting looked into this shit. It looks like some positive past and stuff.
Are you sure you ain't got another Fender?
Bro, it was Darren. Bro, did you see that?
Oh, him! Yeah.
Your family?
Yeah, I used to work with him.
I think we think I'm nuts, blood.
You know who he is? You know, what's the African baby's name? Chris. And he's got a paper. He's got his own paper company. He got his own paper distribution company. Chris, man, he used to part of the scene of the...
Okay.
Yeah, that's his cousin.
Alright guys, send me a message who's locked in. Tell me if we're locked in and we're live.
We live.
If we're live, guys. Hold on.
No, do you know what? I want to just...
Bro, what's going on? She's talking about being black again, isn't it?
Yeah, you said the video. I watched it. But I saw something about
She's biracial.
yeah. It's,
Who's that? Who are you talking
how?
about?
Huh?
Alright, hold on.
She said she's not.
No. She didn't say you to turn biracial. She used the word transracial.
Transracial,
What
that's
kind of race is transracial?
Oh, that the white one.
Yeah, what is that?
The one who lied about.
What is? Someone tell me what's transracial.
I don't know. I'm black. I don't know, but she's like in the thing I was watching.
But so is she supposedly.
That's what she said. She said we're talking about being Pan-African and something else. And she goes, I'm not saying I'm of African descent. I'm just saying I'm black. What's it up?
So basically, anybody can turn around and say
She was saying
of
she was talking about reparations, right?
yeah.
And she said, we were due them. Like she was saying we. Like she is black, but
So she
rides, bro.
She rides.
But there's nothing wrong with riding, but you can't lie to yourself. For me,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, like you said. Like,
Technically, she should be sectioned.
yeah, I'm with you because you can't say to yourself you're black.
Bro, if tomorrow I started saying I'm white, you'd want me to put something.
no, but what she's saying is that
Someone give me a phone.
she's saying she's as black as the next person because of the fact that she is down for the culture, she's down for us, she's down for the people. Do you know what I mean? So she's not necessarily.
No, bro. She said no. That's not what she
she's
said.
not got any African heritage. That's what she said.
She said right, but she said she's
not
black.
physically black. She knows that.
She said I'm no. She said she's not doing reparations.
Yeah.
Because she's not of African descent.
Exactly.
But she is African. She's American black. That's what she said.
Do you know what?
You can't defend that.
What did you say? She's American black.
Something along those lines. She's basically saying she wasn't of African descent, but she is
I can't
black.
believe she's saying that. I don't believe that.
Alright, let's see. You know what? You lot shut up, man. Shut up talking all that stuff, man. Talking all that stuff. Alright, listen. Grown ass men in the building, make some noise! Yeah. Right. Topic for today. And obviously, I never say the topic first. We've got to kind of know who we got in the building, right? So starting from my left. Suited and booted like he's just come from court. Did you bust case? It's...
I work 9 to 5, bro. It's Mr. D in the building. Yes, Darren. Sorry you weren't here last week and all that. I'm back, man. Back in this piece.
Yeah, you know it's the Pan-African, aka the Afro King, aka Dwayne.
Yo, what's going on? It's Ricks. It's good.
Yeah, finger pointing ting, little sway ting. Alright, cool. Obviously you got myself, the host, Devil's Advocate, man like John Cena in the building. You can't see me, everyone knows that it is already. I'm feeling hyped today because we missed last week, yeah? And obviously, what happened last week? Mother's Day? Was it Mother's Day? Oh, it was just you, innit? Yeah.
Not just...
Dwayne's got problems. I think everyone knows that.
Not personal problems, like I got problems, like not like that.
Bro, be proud. It's cool. You got problems, yeah? It's fine, man. It's just his bowels and stuff. Anyway, listen, let's get into what the topic's about today, yeah? It is about...
Before you go.
Before you go.
Can we just make sure that there's people locked in? Because I don't want to be chatting and like chatting for no. Like, people. If you're locked in and you can't see that your friend's locked in, can you just like send a little WhatsApp text something to your friend and say, yo?
Yeah, tell them to tune in. Everyone as well. If you're tuning, start doing them happy. What's the little smiling things? The thumbs up, the heart. Just let us know you're about, innit? Because we kind of feed off of you and we need that as well. Shout out to everyone locked in on YouTube. We're live on there today as well. The picture should be crispy. Yeah, Darren's suit should be looking sharp. Trust me, sharp. Right. Right, let's get into what the topic's about today. All right? Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Let's get into it, yeah? We're talking about parents providing and feeding their child's addiction. All right? So I'm going to kind of put a few things out there and I just want to kind of, see where you guys are at. For one, if your child was addicted to, let's say, Class A drugs, I think we put heroin out there, Class A drugs, would you feed their addiction to save them from the streets? To save them from, I don't know, sucked into the wrong environment, the wrong people, selling themselves? No one, talk to us, man. Who wants to take this one?
I think, first of all, you've got to look to get your child help in it. I can understand what that parent is trying to do. But for me, the first point of call should be some form of medical advice and medical help. I don't think providing drugs is the way forward. I think it's kind of ludicrous, to be honest. Alright,
but you have to get into the point where you're saying that it's kind of ludicrous. We're talking about addiction, yeah?
Right, so get him help, proper help.
Okay, let's say that help ain't working because we have to take it to another level. For it to kind of, really get into you right now. The help that you've tried is not working. Yeah, your son or your daughter is in physical pain because of this addiction. Do you know what drug can do to people? I don't know whether you guys might not have seen people.
You go cold turkey.
Yeah.
You go cold turkey.
Right. So you're saying what? You let them go cold turkey?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm letting them go cold turkey. I'm not just shooting from the mouth here. I'm letting them go cold turkey because under no circumstances can I encourage that behaviour or condone it or help them to continue it. Like, either way, that child is going to have to go through some kind of pain to kick the habit. So if it's a case of you going through cold turkey, as much as it's going to be hurtful, painful and difficult, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do that. And because I'm not going and buying no hard drugs and giving to my child. I'm not doing it.
As hard as it is for a parent to see their child go through that, and like you say, when you go cold turkey, it gets a lot worse than before it gets better. And to see your child like that is gonna tear you apart. But the long term, like the bigger goal of it, you have to do it.
Well, but with cold turkey though, like there's obviously chances of shit going wrong in it. Like you can have compulsions and
exactly that. And you know what? Shout out to Chris as well. Chris just put in there, cold turkey could possibly kill them.
Yeah, cold turkey.
You understand what I mean? So we have to kind of go to those extreme points, and we have to remember this is your child as well. I can't look at my child and see them suffer when I know I could physically do something that could help that pain.
You're saying that, but then flip side. You're giving your child this drug to not even that's something totally different. They overdose because that possibly could happen. But then, so suppose you're not about to provide them with that weekly fix or that daily fix. They're still gonna go out and try and get it somewhere else. They're still gonna go out and that addiction is gonna be so strong that they're gonna have to find something somewhere on their own.
I can imagine that if you are to become that person that you're providing for your child. I would imagine that you make it responsible to be there all the time providing. You can't really afford to not be there if that's what you're choosing to do.
Yeah, but of course, you're well, I would hope that they're going to be there constantly. But suppose you can't get those drugs. Suppose you can't, for whatever reason, the drug dealer will turn up. The drug dealer is let you down.
But you make that shit happen. I wouldn't even think of the point of the drug dealer not turn. Just like, let's just kind of keep it real. If any of us right now wanted to get weed within the next hour, you would find a way to do it.
But there's sometimes when you can't.
Bro.
Not that I know about this. I don't know about
it. No, real talk. You would find a way to get what you need. So, it gets to the point where, all right, cool. You know that person might not be around. You buy more, you store, you do what you have to do because you got your child's health. Well, I don't want to say your child's health at risk.
Okay.
It's already at risk,
All right,
but
cool.
you know what I'm saying? They're reliant on that.
But then, what's the end goal? What's the end goal here? Because you're just allowing this child to continue taking drugs. What's the end goal? Why are you feeding this habit? That's my thing. If you're feeding it and you're saying what you're doing is like weekly or daily, you're reducing the amount that the child is taking, and you're weaning the child off of the drug, then possibly yes. But if you're just saying, all right, you know what, I don't want you going out in the street, so I'm just going to give you the drug. You take the drug at home, and you get high at home.
Yeah, if there's some tactic in place in order to get them off, and like Dee said, you're eventually getting them to say some kind of rehab or something. I guess I can understand it a little more, but I don't think I would feel right in myself knowing that I've provided drugs for my child. I like, how do you look at yourself in the mirror, like knowing, bang, like,
And then
you're helping what is essentially killing your child. Yes, you're short term, you feel like you're helping them, but long term, that's definitely not doing them any good. You have to look at yourself and like Dwayne said, suppose they overdose.
Exactly.
Then what?
All right, cool. So you got to look at it from both sides, right? You're saying, all right, cool, go cold turkey, do that. It's one, I don't think it's obviously that simple. Carlene's made a very, very good point. Shout out to Carlene as well. I do hear what Dee is saying, but they take you off of one drug when you get help to put you on methadone, and you can get addicted to another drug. It's not an easy road, and cold turkey can cause death. Yeah, that's very true. But my thing is, one, if you're trying to make these people go cold turkey, you know that you've got to be there with these people 24 hours a day. You understand what I mean? It's not as easy as you guys think, because as soon as I'm talking, they jump out your window and they're gone to go and get the fix that's needed.
I've had to deal with like an alcoholic, put them into like a close family member of my wife's, and we've had to put them into like the centers to get help, and within days of come back out, they're just back to being alcoholic. It's like with when people have those kind of problems, they have to be ready for their help, and they have to want to give up. And if they're not ready for that, then it's kind of everything that you do is pointless.
So you know what, I think for me, I'm not qualified to deal with a drug addiction. So if my child is addicted to drugs, I want to seek professional help.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to go through the right channels and the best channels in order to kick the habit. And I don't necessarily think feeding into that is the best way to go about that. So as much as you're saying, and just like you said, if you want to get weed, you can get weed. If I want to get professional help for my child, I'm going to get professional help for my child.
Let's. I get what you're saying, but I disagree in terms of professional. You think that shit's just there like a click of your fingers?
Of course not.
But you know how hard it is just to get an appointment for some people, to get treatment for things that people, I don't want to say people should be getting treatment for, but people are needing to get treatment for, obviously without kind of, what's the word when you kind of do it yourself? Like, it's not
Self-diagnosed.
Yeah, no, not self-diagnosed, man. Self-induced, I don't know. Right. You've done it to yourself, basically. And people can't even get seen in hospitals. You're saying, get professional help. One, they cost money if it's not going to be through the NHS, yeah? It's going to cost time because someone needs to be there. You're still a provider. Let's just say in your home, you're the main provider. How do you then just take time off and just provide these things? Like,
yeah, but then, so what's the alternative? Just saying, all right, go and take drugs and continue to take drugs?
Well,
or just do it in my house?
What people tend to do in that situation, unfortunately, is that they've got to make a hard decision. It's either they turn their back on that person and they just allow them to get on with life, or they take a big step into their life and they kind of neglect their own. That's basically the choice that you have.
If my child is grown, and because generally I'd say we're talking about, people that have gone past 18.
Yeah, I would expect so, yeah.
After raising my child for 18 years, I can then not just put my life aside and just be home with my grown ass child every day. Like that, I haven't raised my child in order to still at that age
be raising him.
But yeah, like I'd then be more homebound then than you are when they're a child.
All right, but listen, I've got to take it to a different side of things. And in terms of obviously with that addiction, would your actions be dictated by the fact that you feel guilty because you've actually failed your child? if your child is a drug addict, effectively, your home, they're bringing up, their home bringing up is you failed them.
I don't think I agree with that.
You don't think so?
Because there are many reasons that someone can turn to drugs or alcohol. It doesn't necessarily mean the way they're raised. It could be one key thing in their life.
One trigger.
One trigger that can turn them to that.
Yeah.
But so that almost kind of, it goes against all the other people who don't take drugs, but you would credit their upbringing for making decisions.
No, because
And ultimately, it has to be unless you was actually forced by someone, injected or whatever, then it does come down to decision making, which comes from home bringing.
Right, but some
upbringing.
I agree to a certain extent as to what you're saying, because some people would argue, like you're saying, if you make that decision, whether it be one time, because all it takes is one time. If you make that decision, then that's basically a reflection on your upbringing. But like you said, you can have a major impact, a major factor in your life, which makes you kind of go against your upbringing for a split second, and then boom, and then
you got that addictive gene, then you're F.
Yeah.
You might say to yourself, you know what, you're around a bunch of people and they listen. This is what I've done. It took me away from the problem, and they think I just want to be away from this. They spike up one time and they finish. Like,
and that's what an important thing that you said there, that an addictive gene. Like if you have an addictive personality, no matter how much you've been raised, if you take something once and you like it, your addictive personality then kicks in.
So are we going down, and I don't want to obviously go too much off track, so are we going down the route that there is a gene inside someone that says addictive?
I'm not talking about
it. I've read something along them lines.
Honestly, just out of, I would actually like to know that.
I watched something before when they were talking about, I think it was Amy Winehouse and is it Russell, what's his name?
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell Brand. They were talking about it, and the doctors were saying basically they believe that there are genes that we have that cause us to be addicted to things. And that's why I think Russell Brand he stays away from, because I think he believes he has that gene.
Alright, shout out to Rachel. She's actually made a good point. She said it could be a traumatic tragedy that made them start.
Yeah.
And she basically said just before that, you have to ask them why. What's the why in terms of making them start? And you know what? I take back what I've said in terms of it being solely down to upbringing. But I do think that has a massive factor.
It can have a part to play, but not all the time.
I don't think it just say it can. It definitely has a factor.
So you're a grown man, yeah, and all of a sudden, I don't know, something goes wrong at home. You start to drink, and then you become an alcoholic from it. There's nothing wrong with you having a drink, is there? But when you then become an alcoholic, you've now got a problem. That's not to do with your upbringing.
Yeah. You
can't
blame your parents for
that. But totally true, and that's why I said but in terms of my decisions in how I deal with stress, the people that's been around me, do you understand what I mean? Like I might have had my upbringing includes a lot of people that I can bounce off, turn to in times of need. You know what I'm saying? And drink wouldn't have to be.
Are you directly taught how to deal with each problem that you have?
100% no. I've never had an upbringing that says, well, you know what,
do this.
There is no manual.
There's no manual. But in terms of your upbringing, your influence in terms of how you deal with different types of situations, stressful situations, I've got people and family around me, and my upbringing has taught me that I can lean on those people in times of need. So that it definitely has a factor in terms of what I would turn to and what I wouldn't turn to.
So okay, you turn to these people, and you find it is not helping. So right now you're out on your feet, Craig. You cannot afford to feed your family. You turn to me, I've got no money. You turn to D, he's got no money. You turn to Ray, we're all out. Yeah. What next?
I ain't sucking dick on no corner. Right? So do you understand what I mean? And it's them sort of things there where. My upbringing. Yes, I went all the way left. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, but my upbringing knows that is not. That is not a viable solution.
So what might be next? You think
that's not necessarily your upbringing. That's society as well as your upbringing.
You can call it what you like. It's installed in me. I know that you don't go sucking dick on the corner because you're desperate.
So you've now decided that you're not doing that, obviously, yeah. But okay, you decide I'm having a drink. I'm having a drink tonight. Shit's too much, and you cane the bottle, and you are at that moment you are away from everything. Yeah. Tomorrow wakes up and you feel the burden again. Yeah. And you just do it again.
How did I get rid of this yesterday?
And then it's now become a problem.
Alright, let me take it to the stream. I'm gonna have a little think about that one. Let me take it to the stream.
But you know what? Sorry, very quickly. Because, alright, everybody knows Fritz, right?
Not a guy, man.
Shout out to Fritz, man.
Yeah?
Legend, I don't care anyone says.
You're from South London, you should know Fritz.
Yeah.
He's always the one stopping
Catford,
the buses.
Lewisham.
Yeah, and it's
Now, I was told, I don't know how factual it is, that the reason why he went to the bottle was
Girl or
because,
something.
like, it was something to do with his wife.
Wife,
that
yeah,
him
yeah,
and
yeah,
blah,
that's
blah,
it.
blah.
Yeah, himself.
Yeah.
I heard that.
And apparently prior to that,
He was
was sharp as a doornail. Like he was just a standard guy. Do you know what I mean? So it really depends on what happens in the life.
Yeah, and like I said, I do take back what I said in terms of it being solely, but I still do believe it is a factor in all accounts. That's what I believe. I could be wrong.
Okay.
All right, let me obviously people in the stream, big up Fritz, yeah, big up man like Fritz.
I like him, man.
All right, let me read out a couple of comments that come through. Right, Rena's just said, I don't think a failed house could be the sole reason that a person turns to drugs. What about outside influences? Yeah, totally, I do take that on board. Carlina said, I know it may sound bad, but prison does kind of help a lot of people that are addicted to drugs.
Agreed.
Many people become addicted for many reasons. People get addicted to many things like shopping, and chocolates. Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah, but you can still get things in prison. You know, like I know someone that went prison and was still drinking. You know, like.
So, well, here's a question to kind of put out there. It's going against a little bit against my script. In extreme circumstances, would you say that that people who are heavily addicted to drugs should be in prison to help get over addiction? Everyone just agreed when they said like prison can help. I'm just doing me. Devil's out.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
You know why I say that?
Explain.
Because, like I said, oftentimes where you help people, like you take out of the time, you got to help an alcoholic or someone who's addicted to drug. You put them in the centre. They don't have to stay, so they get up and they bounce, and then they're back tomorrow the same problem on the street again. If they're imprisoned, yeah, they're being looked after,
How are they being looked after?
Do you mean how good the prison's got to look after them? What do you mean how?
No.
Prison is not somewhere to take care of you.
Exactly.
No, bro, I'm saying now.
It's not a rehabilitation centre. This is prison.
Yeah, but if you're
getting treatment for your
you would though.
No, you're not.
If you're alcoholic and you get arrested, they'll help you with it. What kind of thing is this?
If you go to prison, like
they
hardback
have to
prison,
help you.
we're talking about not talking
Yeah,
about police cells.
yeah,
We're
that
talking
is-
about hardback prison.
Yes, they have to
Yeah,
help you.
that's it. What Dwayne is saying is actually factually
they have to
true.
help
They are obligated to try and help you in terms of the
I stand
addiction.
corrected. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
But even still,
However,
I don't
know
want to be
anything about
addicted to drink and be sent to prison and
Bro.
deal with everything else that prison brings just because I
But there'll be special. I think there'll be special wings for those kind of people.
But listen,
But there's not.
listen.
I'm not saying what they should be.
But that's
At the end of the
not-
day, there isn't special wings.
It's
So
easy to
I'm
go-
not being sent to a prison where man can rape me and shit just because I've got a drink problem. I'm not doing
And
it.
that's the thing, you've got to think about all the other factors that they're going to encounter in prison,
That's what I'm
which
saying.
could tip them over the edge to make them go and drink or take more drugs.
Well, I get that, but
Which is
it's
easily
easily
Or
accessible
just
in
kill
prison.
Yeah,
themselves,
alright, so
or
now-
kill themselves because they can't get that drink or drugs.
Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, yeah, the question was that, but I suppose it does open.
Thank
It
you.
opens doors in
I
terms
mean,
of
yeah, how we
other
manage.
addictions and stuff like that as well. All right, let me just read a couple out. Bianca has said, upbringing may have a factor, but there are many addicts who had a good upbringing. They just made poor choice at a point in their life. Very, very true. I can't argue with that one. Juliana has said, but I still think childhood does relate to drug use in some cases. For example, the parent drank alcohol in times of depression or stress, and the child sees this growing up and observes this habit of the parent, and this could potentially lead to that child copying behaviour and following the same patterns. Juliana, big up yourself. That's exactly what I'm saying. And these guys don't even see it. You know what I'm saying?
That's not every situation.
We're not
You
disagreeing
have varied
at all.
situations where people will
I'm trying to
come from
like
different
something,
things.
You see what I'm saying? If my name was Juliana, you lot would have just agreed with me, alright? Right, Rachel's saying, what about people addicted to gambling? I think that's talking about the kind of prison thing. They lose their family homes, there's not enough money to help them in, there's not enough money to help them in prison.
Bruv, when I went to Birmingham, bruv, a couple of years ago, there was a woman. I was in a gambling casino, and there was a woman. Bruv, she said her husband lost her yard. Do you know how nuts that is? I just looked. How do you lose a house?
What would you prefer? Your wife had a drinking problem or a gambling problem where she can lose your house?
That's
Bro, I'm not playing your game.
No, I don't like that game.
I ain't playing your game, bro.
The only ones there, I'm not playing.
Yeah, I'm not playing. Stupid game.
Hey, listen, now, but obviously, kind of just bringing it back onto what we was obviously talking about in terms of feeding a drug addiction for your child. Would the treatment, or would how you kind of tackle that situation be different for a boy or a girl? And the reason why I say that is because, you know, some people might take the lines of, oh, you know what, yeah, you're a man now, go and look after yourself, you know what I'm saying? But if that's a girl, for example, you know, she might be going out there, you know, getting fucked wherever and, you know, trying to feed that habit.
Yeah, I would probably... It'd probably be a harder love. I'm still trying to help, but I'd probably be a lot harder with
I'd like to think I'll treat
boy
them
than
both the same.
I'm treating them both the same because drug addiction is a drug addiction.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah? Even though the dangers for them, I don't know.
They are different.
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, that's how a lot of women, I assume, and I say I assume, get into prostitution and all of those sort of things. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, death is a harsh reality for either male or female. So for me, it's the same.
So it's just tough. That's when your tough love kicks in.
No, I'm not saying tough.
No, I'm saying tough love. Can't treat them the same way.
Exactly the same.
Okay. All right, cool. So in terms of obviously what you are willing to do for your children, the kind of limits that you would go, because I guess we have to kind of take the conversation into an avenue is how far can your kids go? You know what I'm saying? And we're going to kind of keep it drug related. For example, if your child had a weed addiction, for example, to stop them going out, and we're maybe talking about at a young age as well, to maybe stop them going out, would you allow them to maybe smoke in the house, out in the garden? Are drugs tolerated? Is it looked at differently because it's weed and heroin, etc.?
You have to be very careful. For me now, like obviously I've had looked after children that have come in and they already smoke weed, and it's either I allow them to go in the garden or out front of the house, or they do the thing, or they try and bring it into my house. So what I generally do is I tell them they've got to go somewhere and just don't do it on my premises, and I'm not really cool with that.
So it's not going to be a point of trying to wean them off of it, because some people would say, ignorant people, I might add, that weed is possibly the first step into the drug world, and then it can lead on to their into heroin, cocaine.
I don't think you take weed, you follow. I don't necessarily. I don't think it works like that.
I don't think there's a correlation there.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think there's a correlation.
No, I'm not just saying because black people would like weed, but
no. But all right, let me just branch it back then to what you were saying before about addictive personalities and stuff like that. Yeah, and the reason why I said would you allow them to kind of stay in, because once they go out, like you said, it just takes you to be in a certain environment where maybe something else is offered. Right, this is better than weed. But then one time, you know what I'm saying? Bang.
That may not happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, we know plenty of people who smoke weed who've never tried anything harder than never tried any hard drugs other than weed. Do you know what I mean? I know.
Do you think that's a cultural thing?
Yes.
Do you think it's a cultural thing because weed 100%. Is acceptable?
100%.
So, as parents though, shouldn't we be looking at drugs is drugs?
Drugs is drugs in my house.
Yeah, but.
So drugs is drugs.
Once again, it's
I swear he got high the other day in your house eating weed cakes. Yeah? I'm just saying, I'm putting you out there.
Wow.
It was pretend weed if anyone else is watching, just so you know. But that happened in your house, Your house provided those goods.
Hold on. For the benefit of our fans and supporters, I won't say fans, sorry. We're talking about Dwayne. It was his house.
Yes.
And Rake's got a little touch.
Yes, because it had a weed-like taste.
I just saw cookies. I ate a cookie. Next thing I know, feeling a bit lightheaded. I thought it was Maryland, isn't it?
But for me, Craig.
Nah, obviously that's just it's banter, guys. Yeah, go.
Do you know, like, because for me, I come from a background and a culture where weed is more than acceptable. Yeah,
I said more than.
Yeah. No, because I've grown up seeing uncles, dads,
everybody
smoking.
I let them.
So.
Carry on.
Yeah, I mean, but when you ask is it cultural, I think it definitely is, because from what I've seen, like if like that's it. Weed is known as a herb. It's not really seen as a drug. It's seen as a herb. It's seen as something that is good for you.
Whilst I may agree with you initially, like growing up, it may be a culture, but do you not now think that that's stretched on? Because now, like I said, the younger white generation, that's now their thing as well.
Yeah, they think it's a minor as well.
Yeah, it's now become. It's not. I don't think it is anymore in our culture.
No.
It's now become a widespread issue,
Definitely.
so to speak.
Definitely, but there's still those that it's a cultural thing, and I'm not disagreeing with you, because for real, I can see a lot of white people, white young youth out there that smoke weed and may necessarily go on to try. Yeah,
See, I think
but then I don't want to go too deep, but then it's broken down into strains, isn't it? Because a lot of people, where it's cultural, will say I'm not touching anything that's not natural.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not plant based. So like skunk and all of that. The people that I know,
Yeah, older generations won't touch that. They will stick with what they know is
What they
natural.
know. Yeah. All right, let me ask you this, because you seem, I'm going to put this question out to Darren. You seem quite a cultural guy, yeah? with your shirt and tie on, yeah?
I'm proud of that. I am.
Yeah, nah, listen, big up the magistrate, it's cool. But, yeah, would you, with that being as part of culture, would you encourage your child to smoke?
I would never
To smoke. You know, the proper, the weed, it comes from the earth, it's from the ground.
I would never encourage my child.
But why, if it's part of culture?
I would never encourage my child, because at the end of the day, when you reach a certain age, you make your own decisions. But for me, I don't want my child smoking. I don't want my child smoking, because I want the very best for my child.
So you agree that it's bad?
No. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, for you to go on and be the greatest person that you can be, I don't necessarily think that smoking is going to encourage that.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, go on.
How can you on one hand say it's not bad, but it's gonna limit him or her?
Okay, cool. If you, look. If you want me to say it's bad, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I'm cultural, remember?
Yeah.
I'm cultural. So I'm not going to say that. It's my culture.
I really use the cultural card.
I'm just simply saying I wouldn't encourage my child to smoke weed. I wouldn't.
Alright, but and this is coming from, I think it's Anton, yeah? Yeah, shout out Rachel Louise, but I think it's Anton. Does it make it worse to smoke a spliff than to have a drink? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're celebrating, everyone's like, yeah, it's a bit of champagne.
Listen.
Why not? Here's a bit of weed, have a talk.
Listen, alcohol is scientifically more harmful than weed.
Right, so that's my point though. Yeah?
But I'm not going to encourage my child to have a drink either. If he does that, he does that. But I'm not going to encourage him. Son, have a drink.
Yeah,
and is it the same thing with the weed as well?
Yeah, but it's not going to be the same as what he said. You said you wouldn't want him to do that. Like you actively go out your way.
Exactly.
Where you're saying basically, if he smokes weed, it affects him being the best he can be. Him having a drink.
If he does it, he does it. That's what I'm saying. With the alcohol, you just made a point. Hold on, let me just finish this point. Let me finish the point. Alright, let me finish the point, because you kind of made a point there. Alcohol is clinically proven to be a worse drug than more harmful than weed.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, and then you said, look, I wouldn't. Yes, you said about weed that you would stop your child because it could stop him progressing in life. But then you said on the alcohol, you wouldn't encourage it because it could affect him
but if he did it
in life.
Like
but then you just said in alcohol, you just said like, oh cool, if he does it, he does it. It's almost like, you should be more stopping the alcohol.
I said I wouldn't encourage. Just like I said, I wouldn't encourage weed. I wouldn't encourage drinking either.
So would you stop it? If at 17,
16,
16, 17, you see your son smoking.
But alright,
do you stop him?
Everything within moderation. If he's smoking and I think it's having a detrimental effect on his life in general, then yes, I'm gonna sit down and say to him, listen, this isn't for you, because smoking isn't for everybody. There's some people who can smoke and it's fine. They can get on with their life, and some people who have that addictive personality and it affects them. Just like drinking, some people can drink and function properly. Some people can't.
I agree. I do agree with that to a certain point.
I see parents allowing their children to have a little drink, like maybe when they're 16, 17. Now, I think that when you encourage that, you are then kind of saying, hey, long term, hey,
it's okay,
you drink more when I'm not around. Like, yes, I'm giving you this drink here, but when you go about your business, you can do whatever you want, and that's kind of where they start hitting the extremes, and that's when
it depends on what kind of encouragement.
That's when it can be blamed on parents.
I understand. It depends on what kind of encouragement you're talking about, though, because if they're saying, all right, at Christmas, I'll have a little sip of my drink.
Then why are you doing that?
Because obviously you're in the moment where everybody's having a drink, you're celebrating. It's celebratory. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of people that do that, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that but that doesn't necessarily mean to say they're encouraging you to go and drink full scale.
No, right. It's not encouraging you to drink full scale. What it's doing is it's telling
Deeming
the child
acceptable.
that it's acceptable and it's okay.
So when
Okay,
you allow
but-
your
but hold on,
when
but
you
hold
allow
on.
your child to
If I drink, I'm doing exactly the same, because if they're seeing me drinking, yeah, then subconsciously when they grow up they're gonna think, yeah, it's all right to drink,
Alright.
because they've seen their parents do it, and it's habitual and it's something that's passed down.
So if you're a regular drinker and you allow your child to be drinking at 16, and then by the time they're 18, 19, they have a drink problem, do you partly blame yourself?
Yeah, if I'm saying to my child, yes, you can drink at 16, then yes, I think the parent has to shoulder some of the responsibility, definitely. But it depends. Like I said, it just depends. Everything within moderation. If you say at Christmas time and at Christmas time only, have a sip of my drink.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's not.
then no. But if a parent's saying to their child, you know what? Yeah. There's a bottle. Yeah.
So,
Then-
alright, so
I think-
would it be the same for the other side? Sorry to cut you, Dwayne. Would it be the same on the other side? Like, alright, cool, it's Christmas, yeah? Listen, Sam, we're going to roll up this thing, yeah? And we're going to smoke it, because it's Christmas, it's culture, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But why?
I'm not doing that.
But why?
Yeah,
And this is what I'm trying to say.
You know what it is,
There's-
though? You know what
I
I'm saying?
It's just- it's- I
the
just
fact
say
that
it's
it's
wrong
illegal.
person.
That's all it is. If it was legal, you probably wouldn't have that view set.
I don't think so. I'm attacking Darren, but I would be with him, and I understand where he's coming from. But it's the fact that you're saying on one side, there's no kind of.
Yeah, but you're only saying it because it's legal. It's illegal. If that was illegal,
It's the fact that it's smoking. I don't know. There's
No,
something
but
about
it's
smoking that is.
I don't know.
I don't know. Society. It's just wrong. I could not encourage
Right,
my child.
cool.
I'd have a beer with my child, or a bit of brandy. You know,
Right.
bit of Henny.
See?
That's when he's of age, because
What's
that's
of age? What's of age? Though?
well 18 plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
But
Okay,
at the same time, if I was to smoke a certain type of cigarette, I'm not going to be saying, "Hey, go have a puff of that."
Forget about weed. Forget about weed. What about cigarette? What about the children who smoke cigarette? Because you see a lot of children smoking cigarette early doors. But 16, yeah. What about children smoking cigarettes at 16?
I disagree with it.
Okay, but would you categorize it the same as smoking a spliff at 16?
What, the cigarette and weed?
Yeah. Would you categorize a child smoking a cigarette at 16 the same as a child smoking a spliff at 16? Would you categorize it the same?
Yes.
Yeah, smoking. It's just wrong. I personally just think it's wrong anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let me take it to the stream quickly as well. Right. Bianca has said, "I don't see weed," and she's put in brackets pure weed. Yeah, that good stuff. No, I did that bit in. Bianca didn't say that. I was just joking. I don't see weed as a drug. I understand it's illegal, but I think that it's for monetary reasons rather than for posing a danger to a person's health. Definitely. But at the same time, if they legalize it, listen, the whole thing could be gone. Like in terms of just industry. I think they're trying to legalize it in Jamaica. It will help their tourism industry. So I don't think, when they say it's for monetary reasons, I don't think it's solely for that. I think that they believe that it does have something to do with health.
No, I don't think
they
that.
don't.
The reason why I don't think they're I think because they can't monitor it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can then grow at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to buy it. You don't have to spend the money. Do you know what I mean? And
The government
they can't get any money. They can make.
easily manage and
Yeah.
tax it then.
But they don't make money. Do they make money off it now? I don't want to go into a different
No, that's the
conversation.
point. They don't really make money off it. That's the problem. If they could make money off it, it would be legal. The same way.
But they
alcohol.
could make
We
money
can't
off of
go
it.
home.
They could make it legal and make money off of it.
Right,
But you could then grow it
but
at
it would
home.
still be a lot of
Yeah, but-
a lot of illegal selling, so to speak, because of how it's produced.
Accessible it is. You can't just go home. You can't just go to your dad's house tomorrow and make a brandy. You can't do that.
All right. Listen, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't get your point, and I feel like I'm just going against everything you guys say today. Yeah, but that's the way I feel because for example, if something is readily available, why would you be growing it? Like, I don't think
Because you
Hold on a
can-
minute. Let
What do you
me
mean,
just
why?
let me just finish my point. Yeah,
doesn't make
people grow it now because they can grow it, they can sell it, and they make money off it because it is not readily available. That adds value to what they're doing. Let me finish the point. Let me finish the point. Yeah. In Amsterdam, illegal weed selling, I don't think, and someone can point this out if I'm wrong, I don't think that they have any sort of issues out there because it is readily available. And it's obviously not so expensive. I need to charge this phone. It's not so expensive because you can get it from everywhere. Do you understand what I mean?
One sec. In regards to weed, the weed situation in
It's not
Amsterdam,
even legal.
yeah, like it's the tourism that it attracts. Yeah. So it's not really the natives or the locals that really buy into that. But what I'm saying is, if you can grow something at home and you don't have to pay for it,
You're not the favorite.
in the shops,
You're gonna carry on.
you're gonna do that, right?
Yeah, I get you. I get you saying, but I get your point. But my point is, the people who are the main people who grow it and illegally sell it. If it was readily made available to people
And
to
it's
go
a
to,
black one, let's be honest. So they
you can't just say that.
That is
You
why they
can't
don't-
just say that
why
that's a
part of the
black
reason why they
problem.
won't legalise it. It's because us as black people are the main users of that. That's why if it was a widespread thing, and
There's so many.
if it was
things.
widespread and it was a white thing, yeah, it would have been legal years ago. Because it's a more of a black thing, they don't want to make that shit legal.
Without going deep.
Yeah, without and delving into a different
without
combo.
going deep, yeah, there's a taboo and a stigma surrounding weed. Yeah, simply because of the medicinal purposes that it offers.
All right, well, listen. Let me go back to the stream. Right, Rena said, "I've grown up around family smoking, and I've tried it in the past. But the past don't mean like half an hour ago, Rena. Yeah, just because you finished it, that's not the past, right? But I know that's not for me. It's not something I've decided to take up. And yeah, and sometimes I do think, like I think Darren made the point. I thought it's not for everyone.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
you know, I know from personal experience, if I smoke the wrong type of cigarette, I'm rendered useless for the day. Yeah, that's just me. Right, Anton has said, I would never tell my son to smoke, but I don't feel it makes you less of a person. I smoke weed to keep the symptom of ADHD at bay instead of government drugs.
Right.
That make me addicted. Does that make me addicted or self-medicated? That's a good
point.
It depends. I think it depends on whether you're using the fact of your enjoyment for what you do as an excuse because you have something. Do you understand what I mean? It depends, but I don't know.
But it depends, because if he could enjoy it, but it actually does have that medicinal effect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a line between taking it for that reason and the addiction. Who knows where that line is?
Exactly.
All right, and it's a good thing that he touched on that, because there was a story that I saw on this morning, a couple of days ago. It was about a child who had some sort of an illness. Basically went to the doctors and everything. The hospital said, look, there's nothing you can kind of do. His mum went out and got him weed. White people as well, by the way, because everyone's kind of thinks it's a black thing. And it literally fixed him. And he was on this morning. I think he's 13 or 14 years old. And they said, how are you now? He said, I'm absolutely perfect. Yeah. So in terms of that mum, you was obviously saying before about going to get professional help. She did that. She did that. Yeah, and it's a bit different because it's not a habit. But at the same time, it is still her taking it upon herself to go and get a drug to help her child. Like,
there's a lot of videos.
Was she wrong to do that? And she
YouTube.
apparently she could still get arrested and be put in
It might
prison.
be irrelevant.
For me,
but
what
did
the
she get and make him smoke it? Or what did she
No,
do?
apparently it wasn't. Apparently I can't remember how she said that she gave it to it, but it wasn't via smoking. It wasn't via smoking.
No.
I can't remember. I don't want to kind of put it out there and get sued.
But why is that any different than going and getting paracetamol?
How do you mean?
Why is that any different?
What are you saying?
Because she had to go and get something
Because it's
illegal.
That's the only thing. It's just illegal.
Yeah,
Because
but if it's for medicinal purposes, then a lot of the times it's not illegal. If it's
There's no weed you can go and get. It's not here.
You can get weed for medicinal purposes and be okay.
Hey, listen, someone in the stream told me about that. Can you go out there and go and get weed for?
You can. Do
You
it
can't.
Alright,
And buy it from
I can buy it from her and say what?
bro. If you have weed,
The doctor's prescribing it.
No.
If you have, what doctor's gonna prescribe?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's illegal then.
No, it's not necessarily illegal, bruv. You can get, but I think it's quantified, isn't it? If you've got a certain amount of weed,
No, I think it might be.
then you can't say it's for medicinal purposes. But if you've got a certain amount of weed, you can say it's for medicinal purposes, and the
No, I
police
think-
won't arrest you,
No.
bruv. I'm telling you.
So
this.
wait a minute. So if I'm on,
Oh my
so
God.
Someone please
so if
do
I'm
something.
buying
Alright,
it-
hold on.
so if I'm buying it and the police come to me and say, "What are you doing?" I say, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Right, Anton has put, yeah, he is right, and I think he's talking about Darren.
I'm not buying.
Right, let me just read out a couple more. We have to start wrapping up as well.
Don't buy it then. Look into
Yeah,
it. Don't buy it.
Carlene has said Darren is right as well.
telling you.
All right. Where is this doctor? We need to find out where they are so we can advise people. Right. Carlene has just said, right, you are better at growing your own so you know what you're smoking. That was obviously in the earlier part of that convo. Carlene said no, they won't legalize it because of medication reasons.
Exactly.
Carlene has also said it's known to help with ADHD. going on to what Anton said he uses it for. And Anton, I would like to know, if you didn't have ADHD, would you smoke weed? Yeah, we need to know whether it's an enjoyment thing or is it solely for medicinal purposes. No, you can't answer for him, man. Expose up the man's business. Right, Michelle Jackson's come in and said she put it under his tongue, talking about the one that we saw. Yeah, so all right, you remember it, babe. That's good. Right. Giuliano said there are some people who have a medical card that allows them to be able to have weed for them on them for medical reasons.
Yes.
So, all right, so have it on them, but how did they get it? Did someone supply it?
Oh my God, please, you man, just be educated.
You were on a real, yeah?
Just be
Alright,
educated.
Alright, so wait, I've got a card, yeah? Where do I buy that from?
Bro, you can...
From an illegal seller?
Yes.
But you're allowed to have it on you.
Yeah, what he's saying is you're allowed to have it on you. You just
That's weird, isn't it? It is weird.
purchasing
Colleen said as well that they have a spray, what you can get from the doctors. A spray? A weed spray?
From the doctors. You man know that stuff, boy.
Yeah, listen. All right, well, listen. Right, we're gonna have to. I do need to wrap up now. I'm gonna get final thoughts in regards to addiction, supplying for your child in their time of need, and also obviously we spoke about as well the encouragement or being a deterrent, trying to deter your children from taking drugs. Darren, sum up what your thoughts are.
All right, cool.
Cultural man.
Mr. Culture, yeah. Quite an African. Yeah. Okay. In terms of the kind of feeding habit, I can't see how that's going to help in the long run. Yeah, it might allow the child to feel better. I don't know. And you might think it's stopping your child from going out and facing whatever's out there in terms of the whole drug world. But like I said before, if you're trying to wean your child off of it, if you've sought advice, professional help, if you sought professional advice, then possibly. But for me personally, I can't see myself going and buying hard drugs and giving my child drugs, period, and giving my child. I can't see that happening. I would always say seek professional advice. And in terms of your upbringing, although I have said the upbringing doesn't necessarily determine whether the child is going to take it, I would say just try and steer your child in the right direction. If you are smoking weed, don't smoke weed around your child and make it think it's a daily occurrence, because then it's likely your child's going to smoke weed. So just be wise.
I'll keep it very short. Yeah.
Like that, yeah? Alright, sum up your thoughts, man. Let's go.
Great.
Oh, shit.
Wait, what, done, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Let's
Yeah.
kind of going on what Darren said, like, be careful what you're doing around your child. They are going to pick up habits, and you know, be careful of that addictive gene. If you see that in your child early doors, you just have to be mindful of what you allow and what you encourage them to do. My heart goes out to parents that have children with those addictions. I've seen it close up. It's, you know, it can take a toll on the whole family. My thing is just, you know, support them. You know, part of the problem why children get addicted and then have these issues where it's very hard to deal with it is that the support unit they have around them isn't strong enough, isn't big enough. Don't shun them away. I'm not saying yes, go and buy drugs, go and buy alcohol for your children, but support them. And you know, not just parents, siblings, cousins, uncles, everyone. Just, you know, look out for these things and just try and help the unit, man.
Respect that stuff.
Hey, Riggs, preach! Hey, Riggs! Hey, someone getting one of them little collars and a white shirt, man. Now, real talk, that was very, very well said. I'll tell you something, you saved them up. Right, in terms of my thoughts, I will go to extremes. I will do things that may not be conventionally looked at as right or acceptable to help my child. I'm at the feeling where if it is going to be detrimental to my child and it could cause death, I couldn't watch my child go cold turkey. I would try and get advice, but if it meant I had to go out and buy drugs to feed and help my child eventually, but it's got to be on the lines of helping, I would do it. I just can't see my child in pain. You know, it's just the way I personally look at it. In terms of what's that?
What What you said during the conversation? I want to ask questions.
No, we can't go there.
He always play smart.
No, it's not playing smart. I'm
John
giving
Cena,
I'm giving you my thoughts, innit? But yes, I do think upbringing has a massive part to deal with in drug habits. In some situations. So yes, I think, but we need to be consistent in terms of what we're preaching and what we're doing around our children as well. I'm guilty. My son sees the Henny bottle, and sometimes I'm a bit happier than I was 25 minutes ago. So them sort of things we got to be aware of, because like I think Rick said it already, people pick up habits from what they see, especially from people they respect and look up to. But yeah, listen, that's my view anyway. Don't judge me, and if you do, your mum. All right. Listen. Now we're locking off. Real
Say
talk.
sorry for that. Say sorry for that.
No. If you judge me, your mum. No, I'm not apologising. No. Right. Listen. Catch us in the next stream. Everyone who's been watching, everyone who likes, shares, they see the message and just supports what we're doing. We appreciate everyone who gets involved. We really, really do appreciate it. Keep supporting us. Keep pushing us. And yeah, catch us in the next stream. We're on in about 15 minutes. Guys?
5:10.
Oh, sorry, 5:10. I got excited. I wanted to go to the toilet, but I'm not going no more. Alright, guys, we're out.
Peace.
That's alright, so.